I got a feeling that tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. Hey everyone, welcome back to the 20-hour ukulele challenge, and now I'm going to teach you I Got a Feeling by the Black Eyed Peas. So this song, we introduced pendulum strumming in, which is going to be in like everything else we do, so it's super duper important. So we're going to start out with the chords. There's 3 different chords we use in this song. First one's a C. Use the ring finger, 3rd fret of the 1st string. Let's try to get all 4 notes really clear. Then shake out your hand, and let's get the next chord. Next chord is F. You use the middle finger on the 2nd fret of your 4th string and the index on the 1st fret of your 3rd string. Like that. Just try to get that down if you can. If you need to see the chord charts or the tabs, you can use the link to the free lesson page on my website. That'll probably help. This lesson's embedded there, so it should be easy to do. And so then, if you want the A minor chord, you lift the index finger and you just keep that middle finger down on the 2nd fret of the 4th string. So, once you think you've got those chords in your head, the cycle is 4 chords long, but it repeats the F twice. So we do the C, and then we do the F, then we go to A minor, and then we're going to do the F again at the end. And then we go back to the top. We just repeat this pattern again for the whole song. C, and then to F, then A minor, and then to F. So go ahead and just stop and make sure you can play through that cycle a couple of times. And then when you're ready, we're going to come back and I'm going to teach you the strumming. Okay, awesome. Time for the strumming. So we're going to use, like, there's no fancy anything in this. We're just going down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. If you got that real easy, if it sounds great, we're ready to go ahead. If you need some breakdown, here we go. We're going to break this down a little bit. I'm going to kind of mostly hinge from the elbow for now. We'll eventually use some radial twisting to get some subtlety, but for now it's just down, up, right from the elbow. You always go down on the numbers and up on the ands. So it's always 1 and 2 and 3. So try playing along with me like this. Ready? 2, 3, go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and. So go ahead, pause the video and repeat that until you feel like you're comfortable with the down-up mechanic, and then we're going to put it together with the chords. Okay, here we go. So when we put this together with the chords, we basically just go down, up, just that's all we do. And we go down and up 8 times each, so it ends up being kind of like this. It's like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. And when we say 1 again, we're on the next chord. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 1. So I'd like you to try to practice this kind of out of time. Unless you think you can just nail it with the rhythm, I'd say just go for it. But 2 things about how I practice there that I want you to pay attention to. One is I kind of just let myself go out of time. I'm like, okay, blah, 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 going through it. As I get closer to the transition, I slow down. It's like, you know, when they want to dodge a bullet in the Matrix, they are like, oh, we got to slow down. When you got to lift a finger or change fingers over here and do a stroke at the same time, you slow things down, though try to keep it moving a little bit so you can practice the coordination. So I call that the Matrix technique, where it's like when you're getting close to something that's more complicated, you just slow it down a little bit, but keep the train going at a slower speed, and then pick it up again. So, and the other thing I did is I always try to make sure I go back to the first chord to finish. Because if you don't practice the transition back to the beginning of a cycle, often you'll miss that, and then when you play the song, it always has to happen, and you always are going to screw it up. So try to just go through that a couple of times, and make sure you can sort of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and transition on the ones after you count to 8. 8 and 1 switch chords. So try that a few times until you get it. Awesome. Okay. Now I am going to play the song at speed with the words, and I want you to try to play along with me. And if it doesn't go well, there's 2 things you can do. You can either slow this video down. It's shot at 60 frames a second, so it'll look smooth even if you slow it down to half the speed. And you can also just go back and just practice the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 1 and 2. You can try just counting along too. You can count while I say the words or whatever you want to do, but you might need to like go away from trying to do it at speed, or like just do it with just the counting first to get used to that first. That's fine. You can go back and forth until you get comfortable enough with the counting that you can do it with the words and change at the right place. So as much as you need to do that is absolutely fine. Just take the time you need. So here we go. I'm going to play things at speed with the words, and however you need to practice with this, that's what you do. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. I got a feeling that tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good, good night. And tonight's gonna be a good night. And tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good, good night. Awesome. So practice that as you need to, or when you're ready, you can go on to the next song in the series, and or go back and practice some of the earlier ones, whatever works for you. Hope you complete the challenge. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.